Sir, Saquon Barkley, along with Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, made quite a statement as a resurgence of highly paid free agent running backs, and maybe swinging the pendulum back from the, well, you don't have to pay a running back a lot of money based on looking at the rushing leader of the last 5 Super Bowl winners and what they were making. Saquon Barkley's journey to this Super Bowl has capped quite a year.
There's a lot of running backs in free agency.
Yeah, but are any potential difference makers really?
A big-time shift in the NFC East. Saquon Barkley, one of the top running backs in the NFL, lands in Philly.
I feel like I'm a special player. I feel like I still got a lot left, and I got a lot to prove, and I just can't wait to get on the field with those guys and show it to the world.
Touchdown! Welcome to the bird, baby!
I'm ready. Yes, sir.
Oh, what the bleep is that? I've never seen anything like this.
And he's gonna go all the way! What a player! The finish! Hey! He has just broken the 2,000-yard rushing mark. He's hit another home run! He's gonna go!
Did you think this was possible this season?
I didn't think that was possible. I kind of knew.
So all Saquon needs on that field tonight is 30 rushing yards, and he would pass Terrell Davis's 98 version for the most rushing yards in NFL history, including the playoffs. TD is, however, the only member of the 2,000-yard rush club to win a Super Bowl in that very same year. And that's how I ask you, Kurt. Gerald, is Saquon having the best year at running back ever?
The greatest season ever.
Yes.
If he gets that yards and he takes over from TD in terms of most yards, does that catapult him to the top of the list?
I'm going to go with no, because when I think about, like, the greatest seasons ever by a running back, I mean, no surprise here, Kurt. I'm going to go with a Sooner. I'm going to talk about Adrian Peterson. You know why? Adrian Peterson almost broke the rushing record in 16 games. He was 9 yards away. Saquon, as great as he was 100 yards away and had an extra game. But I want to talk about a supporting cast. He didn't have a quarterback who's been a runner-up for MVP. He didn't have arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the game, or arguably the best offensive line in the game. He had Christian Ponder, and then, you know, and that's what Adrian Peterson did. He put the team on his back and took them to the playoffs. So if I have to think about greatest season, I'm going to go with Adrian Peterson.
Well, if I'm thinking about the greatest season, it's always about holding up a trophy at the end of it all. And so you think about TD, held up the trophy at the end of it. I think about the guy that I played with in Marshall Faulk. Didn't have as many rushing yards, but he went 1,000 and 1,000, is just under Saquon in terms of total yards. But he held up a trophy at the end of this thing. And so that, to me, is where this hinges. It doesn't matter to me how many yards he gets tonight. Does he win that title? Does he bring that home? Because then I think we can start talking about it, because he has the yards, he has the impact. And that, to me, is maybe the bigger thing. Is Marshall came over. That was his first year with us. This is Saquon's first year with Philly, and we saw the impact that he had. It's been the storyline of the year. He finishes that off with more yards than anybody and the title.
Yeah.
And I say he probably does, Rich, have the greatest running back season of all time.
Especially if he's named MVP of the Super Bowl because of it. On top of all of that. You know who's on top of his game? Mariucci. Because he is gratuitously working beignets into its next analysis. I don't know what beignet. I love it. The gumbo. Very good. We have a plate of beignets out here, because the topic bar is what will be the key ingredient for a different outcome from the last time they played each other in Super Bowl 57. Steve, you're the only one who's got...
How come they made me wear a bib?
I don't know. Could be reputation proceeding, or I don't know. But I'll ask you first, since you probably want to dive into that.
I'm salivating like Pavlov's dog right now. How am I going to answer this? You know what? Vic Fangio and this defense of the Eagles, much improved, I think, over the last one. And it's younger, with a couple of rookies. And I mentioned Cooper DeJean in the slot, playing the nickel guy. But Quinyon Mitchell, the rookie over there, first rounder out of Toledo, man. He was a candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He will be the key ingredient, the beignet, so to speak, in this, because he's going to get tested over there as a freshman, as a rookie. They're going to go after him a little bit. He's got to come up with some plays.
And for me, the key ingredient that's different this time around is going to be Jalen Carter. I don't know if they make a beef gumbo, but the big beef up the middle. I think he's going to have a big game, be disruptive in this one, and get after Patrick Mahomes quickly and early in this game and wreak all kinds of havoc and force them out of their game plan. So I believe he's got to be different if they're going to upset the champs.
Yeah, he does have to be different. And the key ingredient, I think, is not a beignet, but you're probably wondering, what's this on my shoulder over here?
What is it?
That is a chip.
Oh.
And it signifies the chip that is going to be on the Eagles' shoulder when they come into this building, because they have not forgotten what happened in the last time they faced this team. They will come into this game ready to exact revenge. They have a different weapon. His name is Saquon Barkley, and they have not forgot. So, no, I won't eat that chip because I need to stay on my shoulder, but
nice.
I will eat these chips. So, Mooch, we are on set together enjoying something very savory.
Yeah, why are you eating chips?
But I just need to know, was the idea born out of you wanting beignets and let's come up with a segment so you can eat beignets? Or
it's been an hour since
the idea was born and then you're like, you ordered the beignets. What happened first?
I think that's it. He came down here and he goes, beignets, gumbo, shrimp creole. How can I get them over 8.5 hours in different segments?
Good job,
Keep
Steve.
it coming.
We have all set up.
It's better than craft service.
Way to go, Mooch.
That's good producing right there.
Good job. Are you going to leave that chip on your shoulder?
Some beignets.
Yeah, I have to keep it on the whole game.
All right. I'll try one.
Rich, I'm told Travis Kelce talked to the team Saturday night, and a part of his message was tell them how much he loves them. Kelce said early in his career he was driven by individual success, but now it's about using his voice to help others. One example, Xavier Worthy, the Chiefs rookie, told me, Kelce helped turn my season around. He teaches me how to play with Patrick Mahomes. He said, in zone coverage, you have to break off that route early, use the speed to your advantage. Kelce's going to get a lot of eyeballs today, and so one of the other receivers will have to step up. Maybe that's Xavier Worthy. Maybe it's DeAndre Hopkins. Or maybe it's Hollywood Brown, who called his shot to me this week, saying, I'm getting into the end zone for sure for the first time. Now, let's fly over to the Eagles Hotel with Jane Slater.
Thanks, Cam. Well, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni was asked if he feels pressure to win when you live in Philly. And he said, have you ever been there? Recalling getting booed by just his second preseason game. Now, I caught up with his former mentor and head coach, Frank Reich, this week, and I said, what stands out about him? And he said it's always his attention to detail. He works harder than anyone at his craft. And, you know, he has a surprising motivator, and that was Phillip Rivers, who Nick Sirianni says, you know, he worked with him in San Diego, and he was always challenged with finding one nugget that Rivers had never seen, and that never quite happened. Players tell me they love the rush of their head coach, and he didn't rule out crying during this year's national anthem again. And if I'm triggering any Eagles fans with this full red get-up today, there's a method to my madness. Sirianni says he is not superstitious, but a lot of times he does the opposite of for good luck.
No one can blame you, Jane. You do you. Jalen Hurts became the Eagles starting quarterback for good in Week 14.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình